You want to come stand in front of your camera?
Oh, well, if you don't mind.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate your having this meeting tonight. I've been waiting for a time for you to do it. First of all, the understudy. The way we approached it was that you don't take a piece of land that's part of a park and put understudy on it unless you have some idea. And I'm not saying you know, I'm saying the former city manager perhaps. That seems to be who did it. Unless you have some idea you want it to be something else. And as far as studying, we are studying the Denby Hoyk area. We are studying Marshall Ridley. We're studying other areas of the city, Lee Hall and so forth. None of those areas have any designation understudy on any of the land. So I just don't understand why understudy was needed. What it did do was it alarmed people thinking that there would be an effort to take the zoning away. Now I want to say one other thing. As far as money, our aim is first of all to let people use the land that's there. Do something simple like have a trail going around through the city farm. We don't ask for everything to be done at once. As a matter of fact, once it's established, without a doubt, that it's part of the park, and it certainly is zoned part of the park, then we can apply for grants from the state, federal, private industry. We can get private organizations, nonprofit groups involved in volunteering time and resources. So there's a lot of things we can do that won't cost the city, but it's difficult to get these things started unless the city has a commitment that it would definitely be a park and that we aren't going to be out there looking for something else. And so we ask you, there's no need for, we can have studies, but we know what we want to park there, and the best thing is get citizens involved in deciding what they want in the park, but we don't ask for it immediately. We'll do it in time, but think about that.
Thank you. My response to that is I responded to your question once before during the campaign, which you repeatedly asked and at several meetings, was that when I do a major project in my mind, I have all sides at the table. I want to hear the guy that wants to put condos there. I want to hear the guy that wants to do mixed use. I want to hear the person that's going to only want to park there. I want everybody to put those ideas on the table, and as a council member, I will study them and look at them and do what I think is not best just for you, but for the city. That's how I have done every major study, anything that's
How much?
Let me finish, sir.
Okay, could I say something?
Anything that has gone on in this city, I have tried to do it in that manner. So, you take, for instance, what he just talked about, Enview. Enview is going to be a major project. It's the last large piece of land we have in the city to develop. I was on the council once before, filling in somebody's space when that came up before, and a type of land was presented. So what we will have, hopefully, is that the person, we will give them guidelines as to what we would like to see in a broad stroke on that piece of property, taking into account its history, looking at the density, looking at the funds available, and then come up with a plan and have citizen input. And that's all I said when I did the process for you at the meeting about City Farm property. I said, I want everybody at the table. I was on the original study in 1991 when you talked about it. I was on that committee. I know what was presented and the options for that piece of property. But you're trying to hold me accountable for a council 20 years ago, and this council tomorrow could decide to do whatever they want. You can't do that. You can't project future councils to hold accountable for something that somebody else voted on. Council can do anything they want for citizens. for them voting on it. So whether it's under study or not, which to me is the optimum to have citizen input, would be to have everybody at the table, put your plans, share your vision. If Parks is going to do something, if it's going to be a park, I don't want it to just be a trail. I want it to be the best park available. That requires a study. In your mind, ma'am, that's already there.
The land use designation
In
is
your
park.
mind.
It's zoned park.
It's not zoning.
Your city council.
Okay, can the council change the zoning? Do they have the power to change the zoning?
But
Answer the question.
You're.
Yes,
no.
they do.
Okay.
Yes,
but-
they do.
Well, it has to have hearings, but I've had my hand raised every time. Could I say a few words?
After I'm finished, you can. You
Thank
ask
you,
the
sir.
question. So what I'm trying to say is that you're taking the study out of that for me, just eliminated the process of ensuring that there was going to be citizen input into it.
No.
And anything that we do, I said in my mind, sir. So
What's the difference between the
Can
Debbie
I
Lloyd plan?
finish talking? Can I finish?
Will I have a chance afterwards?
You asked your question, I'm trying to respond to it.
Yeah, but you
Okay,
always get the
so-
last word.
It's the way it works here, okay? What I was trying to say is that anything that we do as a council or as a city should not be, you have a very loyal, local, loud group of people who want a park. I got that. I've had that for the last 2 years from you at every meeting. I got it. That may not be what I think is going to be best for the whole community. So I want the whole community to talk about it. There are people with great ideas who sit in the back of a room and never say anything. I want to hear that idea. They're more comfortable at a table when everybody's there in either a charrette or a community meeting where everybody can voice their opinion and put a little red tag on or us come up and give an idea. That's the way a community is supposed to process. Not you coming in and you know, just because you're there every week and demanding that that's what's going to happen. That's not the way, not in my mind, that's not the way I make decisions. And I've tried to explain that to you all for 2 years. And you just fail to listen to that. You fail to listen to it.
I'll listen to the citizens.
Is there another question?
Another gentleman was
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can I have the mic?
Appreciate it. Once again, thank you for having this opportunity for the people of Newport News to speak directly to you and get answers. That's wonderful. We should have more of these. I also love the film, and the film featured the water and the history of the water and the beautiful parks. And we are so glad that your city council voted to make the land designation in the comprehensive plan parkland. Now, okay, yes, that's what your city council
Land
voted to.
use.
The land use park.
It was
And
previously zoned for that.
Right.
Land use was
So the-
understudy.
so-
So it wasn't a zoning character, it was just an understudy. We were never claiming that understudy was a land use designation.
okay, but so your city council
It's a
did
future
vote
land
that
use.
the land use would be park.
Park.
And
But I
that
wanna
was
make
the
But
people.
I want to make sure, I want to clear up, you said about a previous city manager. It goes back at least 4 city managers to when it was placed under
Sure.
study. It was like 2008. That was almost 10 years
Okay.
ago that it was placed under study.
Well, that's one
It wasn't
of
something
our
recent
concerns.
that happened because of a development.
Understand. But that was the concern of our group, Citizens for Riverview Farm Park, and the concern of the over 6,000 citizens of Newport News who've signed our petition, is we wanted the land to be protected as park. So first of all, your planning commission also voted unanimously to designate that as park. Now, we never said don't study it. We want it studied as park. Now that the people, that your city council and your planning commission have voted that it should be a park, we want it to be studied. How can we make it the best park in the world, the best park in Virginia, the best park on the peninsula? I don't think it's logical to say, since now there's been a decision for the land use to be park, that we can't study it? What? I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm a professor. It's not logical to me. I don't understand that. So what we would love to do is for the city to establish a citizens group. I know in past situations, each city councilor would choose a couple of people to be on a citizens advisory group to, what shall we do with our beautiful park that's on the water? The other thing we would really love to do as soon as possible is to get more people out there. During the archaeological, the tours for the archaeological dig, some 150 citizens saw it. It is just incredible. Have you been out on that land? Have you been out on that land? Of course you have. Isn't it wonderful?
The archaeological, I did not.
Okay, but it's just beautiful. This mic is not working.
Yeah, we can hear you.
But, so that's what the question is, when can we get a citizens advisory group together? A city council could do that tomorrow, I suppose, so that we can decide what the people of Newport News want to do with their park. We did not want a decision made about whether it is a park or not. So that's what we thought was accomplished by City Council's vote and by the Planning Commission's vote, that it will stay a park. And of course, any city council could change that. We hope they'll listen to the people. Thank you.
Thank you. It is 7:30, and I want to respect everyone's time.
Could you respond to my question?
My response has been what it always has been, sir. What my plan was to have the planning department who had, I think, contacted someone to bring us choices of what that park could look like. And
We
that
still
one-
want that. People still want that.
And that's going to cost money to do, which we will eventually do. I don't know when we're going to do that. We will be looking at the CFP, as she said, recently, soon, and we will determine in the list of things that we need for the city, where that park is going to be in that list.
Thank you.
I have expended our time. I want to be respectful of your time. We told you, those who want to stay and have another question, I'm not rushing off, but I do want to end this in the time that we said 6 to 7:30, and I want to respect that. So those of you don't feel bad if you get up and leave now. Those of you who have additional questions that we might can answer, I think we'll stay a few minutes and do that. Thank you very much.